I kind of wanted to get back to doing some, I don't know, for lack of a better word, some sort of urban landscape painting. So I started taking my camera with me, which is something all artists should always have a camera with them, I suppose, these days, but you never know what you're going to run across. Started sort of seeing these places, you know, as I drive down the freeway that looked like, they just looked interesting to me, not for any one particular reason. So I just take pictures out the front window of my car. This one happens to be going south on the 405 near the Arco refinery in Long Beach, and it's something we all drive by and see all the time if you spend any time on the freeways. Been sort of thinking about this for a while. Finally I've gotten around to actually making some, just to see if, first of all, if I enjoy the subject, and secondly, you know, if it's got some little viability out in the world. When I see these things, especially if the light's right, that's something that I can get into, and I happen to like this kind of subject matter. It's not that other people haven't done gritty urban landscapes or whatever in the past. One of the things I wanted to get back to again, besides this sort of concept of urban landscape, is also try to find some subject matters that are more based on patterns. I always have to have a connection with some kind of reality or real object. I started looking at images of tornado wreckage and started seeing that kind of feel and look that I was imagining. What could you go into a hardware store or paint store or whatever and find and make some art out of it, so it's like readily available, common stuff. Paint chips always have these like really stupid names they call, you know, the various colors. So I started thinking, well, why don't I just make my own paint chips, and by titling these colors I can also say something about the person in the image. It kind of gave you like 3 different vantage points to enjoy the piece from, one being 30 or 40 feet away where the pixels converge into a pretty realistic image of the person. And then when you got up close to it, you could start reading the little title. So I made up a bunch of really kind of funny little names for these paint chips and had my own printed for me. A lot of years ago, we're talking probably 25 years ago, a friend of mine brought me a little bust of Elvis back from Mexico, those little plaster busts. And I came up with this idea of making what I call the Chia King. And so I made mold off of the original one, and then made my own version of that. Terracotta clay, gold lame shirt. You fill him up with water and you spread the chia seeds over his head, and he grows like a giant green afro. So it goes from being the king to Don King in a weird way. I met a guy who was into marketing, and he said, you know, we should really get licensed through Elvis Presley Enterprises for this product, because and in my mind I was going, oh, This is my pet rock. This is what's gonna make me millions of dollars, because everybody who saw these, even if they weren't into Elvis Presley, they knew somebody who was, and they just thought they were funny. And 3 or 4 months went by, and I finally got a letter back from Elvis Presley Enterprises saying, we don't think this product is up to the standards of all of the stuff that we want to license. And if you see what they license, it's kind of a joke that they said that, because they license an awful lot of crap. Somewhere along the way I got a letter from the Chia Pet people saying, you know, that they had exclusive rights to making anything with the name chia in it. And I was like, hey, you know, chia seeds are a natural occurring seed, so they didn't really have any leg to stand up. So I built this roadside shrine to Elvis back in the 80s somewhere. It's El Rey Nacimiento del Rey, which means the rebirth of the king. And this was the original little bust that the Chia Kings were made off of. And I wanted to make this look like something that you would see down in, you know, along the roadside in Mexico or something. And over the years, people have just given me stuff to put on it. And you can actually see in this, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a gold Chia King at Elvis Presley's grave in Memphis at Graceland. And I have a travel log with the Chia King me and a friend of mine have done over the years, where we have the Chia King in all kinds of places all over the world, from the Great Wall to all over Europe, all over Southeast Asia. This is an actual photograph of the king taken just before he died. It's Providence, Rhode Island, May 23rd, 1977. It was at some concert he gave then. I think he died in August, and you can see it's the more bloated Elvis that we all love so much.